I wanted to go back to my Yu-Gi-Oh predictions because I think a lot has changed since Yugi's gameplay reveal. Going into the Yugi gameplay reveal, I was expecting to see a new character alongside him, perhaps maybe Kaiba or Marek, because up until that point, every gameplay trailer has had a character reveal. Most recently, the Yu Yu Hakusho characters in the Killua and Kurapika trailers. Before that, we got Gon and Hisoka, who were both revealed at the Gamescom trailer. Ichigo and the rest of the Bleach characters were also all revealed in their own trailer. Sabo, Blackbeard, and Sanji were all also revealed at Gamescom, but I do think those characters were previously revealed in a scan, or at least one of them or something. So when Yugi's gameplay trailer didn't contain a new reveal of Seto Kaiba or Marek, I was pretty surprised, because it stands to reason that if Marek or Kaiba were going to be in the game, why not reveal them alongside Yugi's gameplay like they have with previous characters? And you might be thinking, well, maybe they weren't finished, so they didn't want to show off unfinished gameplay. Well, it wouldn't be the first time they've showed us unfinished gameplay, but on top of that, even if their animations or special effects weren't in a position where you could show them, why not just have the Yugi Moto trailer be identical to what it was, and then have the end credit scene just be Marek and Kaiba standing there, or even just Kaiba, and then later on in a Kaiba gameplay reveal, you reveal Marek. Also, think about this from a design perspective. When the original scan of Yugi Moto was shown, I thought, oh, I get it, this makes perfect sense. He's probably going to be a stance character, switching between cards like Dark Magician Girl, Summoned Skull, Blackluster Soldier, and using all of those to fight for him. Now, obviously, I was wrong about Summoned Skull and Blackluster Soldier, but I was able to come up with the rough moveset that you would come up with for this type of character, because I feel like it's pretty obvious, for the most of us anyway. But if a scan for Seto Kaiba came out, or Marek, I would be genuinely puzzled. I cannot imagine a moveset for Kaiba that makes sense. The reason Yugi works is because Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl are humanoid characters, and can be easily created as their own fighting game character, because really, Yugi Moto isn't playable. Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl are playable. Yugi's not running around and punching people. So here's my big question to you. How do you make Blue Eyes White Dragon a playable fighting game character? That's a really difficult challenge. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, why not just use some of Kaiba's other cards? And my response to that would be, what other cards? He doesn't have any other cards that are humanoid. What are you going to use? Are you going to use XYZ Dragon Cannon? How does that work? How is he going to throw a punch? The only humanoid monsters that Kaiba has access to are Battleox, which, let's face it, is not iconic enough to be his monster. And then, of course, Obelisk the Tormentor is humanoid, but he's really big, which isn't necessarily a problem because you could just shrink him for the sake of gameplay. But then I have another issue, which is now Obelisk is his main fighting monster instead of his ultimate attack, which feels a little bit weird, especially because the other Egyptian god card, Slifer the Sky Dragon, is Yugi's ultimate attack. Marek has similar issues. I won't bother going over them in this video because it will take a long time, but again, Marek has those similar issues. With that in mind, I do think there's two characters which fit my criteria, simultaneously being popular enough, important enough, and of course having iconic enough humanoid style monsters that they could use in a fighting game. First of all is Jaden Yuki. I love Jaden. Jaden is awesome, isn't he? Jaden obviously has the elemental heroes, which I think would be best for his moveset. The elemental heroes I would choose would be elemental hero Tempest, which is the fusion of Sparkman and Avian, Electrum, who is the fusion of, well, pretty much everyone, and elemental hero Wild Edge, which is the fusion between Wild Heart and Blade Edge. A really cool ultimate attack Jaden could have would be bringing out all of the basic elemental heroes and having them team up for one big attack instead of fusing together. I decided to go with the fusions as the playable monsters because it allows you to sort of show off all of the basic E-heroes without actually having to have, 9 different playable monsters. The next character who fits the previously mentioned criteria is Yusei Thudo. I need to get like a watermark that I can throw in the video to remind you, hey, by the way, I'm Australian, I pronounce words strange sometimes. The monsters I would select for Yusei are simply Junk Warrior and Road Fighter. And of course, his ultimate attack would be Stardust Dragon. From a design perspective, or even a developer point of view, these characters would be the best to add. There is a few issues with this though. These characters don't exist during the same time period. They're a spin-off of the main series, so they're not technically a part of that main franchise. And of course, if any of this is true, why wouldn't they just reveal them the same way that they would have revealed Kaiba? Why wasn't Jaden, why wasn't Yusei in the Yugi gameplay reveal? One reason is, of course, this type of character would require a lot more animation work than your standard character, so perhaps maybe it really wasn't done. But sadly, I think the more likely answer is that these characters, either Jaden Yugi or Yusei Fudo, or both, will be DLC. Mainly because I don't see what story relevance they could possibly have in this game, and the main story relevant characters are going to be in the main roster rather than the kind of side characters that Yusei Fudo and Jaden Yuki would end up being in the same room as Naruto, Goku, Luffy, and Yugi. As awesome as a franchise of Yu-Gi-Oh is, it's really hard to design a moveset for these characters without humanoid monsters to control. Again, the reason why you can do it with Yugi himself is specifically because of the humanoid-like monsters he has, Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. There are a few other characters in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh who are popular enough, important enough to the story, and fits that criteria of humanoid monsters. Like I said, I listed off the two that I think are the most likely in this video, and I think if you have one of these, it's going to be really hard to not have the other. The big main three franchises that Yu-Gi-Oh's ever produced were the original series, GX, and 5Ds. A lot of people stopped watching after 5Ds, so it would feel very strange to not have all three of those. I mean, they got a movie together. That's kind of like the legendary trio right there. I could see one of these characters showing up on the main roster. I could see them both showing up on the main roster. I could see them both being DLC. I could see one of them being DLC. It just depends on what the behind the scenes development situation is like. But with everything I've said in this video in mind, I'm fairly confident that Kaiba or Marek will not be playable. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name's been Bilbzy. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. I love feedback, and I'd also love to hear what you think about the Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Do you think we're getting more? Do you think Kaiba's going to be in there? Do you think Marek's going to be in there? Do you think that Jaden's going to be in there? I want to hear it all in the comments section. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.